All right, guys. So welcome to Team Forever Strong's weekly team call. It is March 23rd, almost the end of the month, guys. What is it? 8 days left? 9 days left? 8 days left. 8 days left in the month. That is it, and it will be behind us. So I hope you guys are really working hard to reach out, connect with new people, help get them started on their health and fitness journey. I wanted to start out just by welcoming any new coaches onto the team. I know there's some new faces on here, so welcome to Team Forever Strong. You guys are joining an awesome group of people. Seriously, wait till you get to know everybody on this team. Everyone is so supportive and so awesome, and we truly just are on a mission to help everybody have success, even new coaches as they come onto the team. So welcome on, and thanks for hopping on the call tonight and taking the time out of your night. You picked a great call to be on tonight because we have a guest speaker and he is going to be phenomenal. So I like to start out with any kind of recognition that you guys have for the members on your team. So if there were any new Emerald coaches this week, I saw a couple go up on the page. Go ahead and unmute yourself and we can congratulate them.
I have one.
Oh, good.
So I don't see her on the call yet, but she's been watching the recordings. So getting the kids to bed, she probably wasn't able to jump on with us. But we had a new coach. She signed up a couple weeks ago as just a discount coach. She had no interest in doing anything with the business, but then within a few days fell super in love with Shakeology and started talking about it. And so obviously I just knew right away she would do some great things, and she is already Emerald. So congratulations to Jen K.
Awesome. Congratulations, Jen.
Yeah. And she's so funny because she's doing all the things that coaches should do just very naturally.
Yep.
And so I personally believe that she's going to be doing some great, big, amazing things. And I'm so excited for her, even though she says she's just doing she just really wants a discount, but we'll see.
Well, we know how that goes.
Exactly. I was that person too, so I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So was Kelly. She's blowing it up, going part-time with her career and everything. It's awesome, guys. I'm so excited.
So congrats, Jen. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, keep it going. Thanks, Jane.
I had an Emerald today.
Good.
Yeah, Janae Wallace. I want to give her a shout out. She's not on right now, but she has been a challenger of mine for a long time and seen some really great results. And I think it just got to the point where she was like, how can I not tell people about this because it's changed my life? So she's real inspirational, just a sweet soul. And she just went right out there, and she already is running her own challenge group with 2 people in it. And I just think that's so fantastic of her to do that, to go right in. So,
oh, that is amazing. Congratulations. That is so exciting. I know that's where it starts. It starts with that small challenge group with just a couple people. I remember doing it myself too, and it's so exciting when you just get even just that one person to do it with you at the beginning. It's like, we're doing this. We're all in. Anyone else? I feel like I saw another one today, but maybe not. Okay, does anybody have anybody else on their team that they want to recognize? It could be for anything, guys. It could be for challenges that you have, coaches on your team, totally killing it with awesome posts that they're making. Just anything, guys, that you want to celebrate and congratulate, unmute yourself. I don't like to just celebrate and recognize, rank advancements. I like to also recognize and celebrate other things. So if there's anything else that comes to your mind, guys, just unmute yourself so we can cheer them on too. Anybody? Well, I wanted to congratulate one of my new coaches, Jackie. I know I made a post in the page the other day. She totally went out there. She made her first post on her wall, her coming out of the closet post about becoming a Beachbody coach. She got really vulnerable. She posted pictures of herself, and she was so real. And it was truly how you're supposed to share about your journey, which was really impressive to see for a first post from a coach. It wasn't salesy at all. It was truly just inspiring and letting people know where she's at and what her goals are with this. And it was phenomenal. So great job, Jackie. All right, a couple other things I wanted to go over. I see our guest speakers on. Hi, Bob. I can unmute you too in a second here. All right, so we have Super Saturday, guys, is coming up. Super Saturday is on April 8th. Raise your hand if you are coming with me to the Framingham one. Autumn Calabrese is going to be there. Bob's going to be there. We have Jeff Matheson from Corporate's going to be there. It is going to be, this is the largest one we've had, guys. It totally sold out at 1,000 tickets. It's going to be pumping. Like, you are going to be blown away. And I know there are so many other people on this team who are brand new coaches that are coming to Super Saturday for the first one. So you guys picked a great one. If you do not live in the area, you can go right onto your Coach Online office and you can check right on there and you can find a Super Saturday in your area. They are all over the place. But I'm telling you guys, you have got to get to these events. It is unbelievable. I remember when I first went to my very first one, I was only a coach for like 3.5 months. And I remember Bob was actually there, our guest speaker tonight. I'm going to introduce him in a second, but he was there with Keith Callahan, another one of our upline coaches. And I just remember them up there talking about, you know, all these incredible things that this, you know, business has done for them and their families. And that is when the light bulb really went on for me, because when you see other people doing it, then you know it's possible. Like, you know that you can do that too. So it was just so cool to be a part of that, guys. And you've got to get there. So much fun. So we have that coming up on April 8th. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Nope, that's it. All right, guys. So I am going to introduce you to our guest speaker. Let me go ahead here and just unmute him for a second here. Okay, it's all set now. So anyways, guys, I am really excited tonight to have Bob Lucido on our team call tonight. For those of you who don't know, if you're brand new coaches on the team and this is your first call, he is in our upline and he is an incredible, incredible leader. He has, you know, built such an outstanding team. He is just phenomenal and probably one of the most humble people I've met so far in this business over the course of coaching now for almost 3 years. He's someone that I really, really have always looked up to and just respected. He is just so inspiring and so motivational. So I wanted to take a second here to introduce you to him for those of you who don't know him. First and foremost, guys, he's a husband and he's also a father to 4 children. He used to be an attorney for 20 years, and he does Beachbody coaching now. This is his business. He's been doing this full time, and he's been coaching. How long have you been coaching for, Bob? Is it 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, 7 years, probably about closer to 8 years officially. I was a discount coach for like maybe 6 or 8 months. And I'll talk a little bit about my wake up moment, but basically it was January of 2010. That's when I consider I started the business. To piggyback off of what you were saying, I'm going to cheerlead events too, because it was at an event and it was the same kind of thing. I was looking around the room and people were telling their stories. And, one of the guys was Mark Briggs. I don't know if you guys know Mark. He's a Massachusetts, originally from Massachusetts, but been living in Chicago area for a long time. He's in a lot of the P90X videos, 2, 3 plus. Anyways, listening to the stories of people who have made it, quote unquote, being coaches, and just going, I would love to do that, and I can. Because that was the message. You can. Anyways, I didn't mean to take that away from you, but yes, it's the simple answer.
It's so awesome, though. It is so true, guys, because like, don't even think for a second that you cannot accomplish any of these things at all. And that's the whole thing, is that when I was sitting at that very first Super Saturday event on that Saturday in that morning and listening to them talk and just hearing all these other success stories, you know, I never thought for 1 second, like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do that. You know, they've been doing this for X amount of time. I was like, this is awesome. If they can do this, that means I can do it too. You know, they've kind of like opened the doors for everybody else to do it. So, anyways, guys, when you hear all these accolades that I'm going to go over for Bob, you know, like I said, he's like the most humble person I've met in this business, you know, and he didn't get these accolades and get to the success that he's had and build this lifetime of freedom by just kind of hanging out, not doing much, right? He's treated this like a business, and he's going to talk about that tonight. But he is a member of the Millionaire Club. He's a 10-star diamond, 2-time elite coach. He is a Success Club All-Star, and he was a member of the Coach Advisory Board for 2013 and 2014. And if there is anyone who can show us how to build a successful business and to really develop a team of leaders and get you to be able to go on and live that life of true freedom that we always talk about, that we all say we want, it is this guy right here. So I am so excited, Bob, that you took the time out of your night to talk to our team. We have been waiting for this, and we really appreciate your time. So whenever you're ready, I will turn it over to you.
All right. Yeah, you bet. Thank you so much, Kathy, for having me here, first of all, and I'm honored to be here with all of you. And I'm excited to be here with all of you because, you know, as Kathy just said, this has been an incredible journey for me. This released me from a 20-year career. You know, not that it was that horrible, but being an attorney ain't all it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you that much. And for me, it was a great opportunity to put a very sort of happy and joyful period at the end of that sentence, or resolve that chapter of my life. And it's been a pretty exciting chapter since then. You know, building a great business, yes, but more importantly, capturing an amazing lifestyle that just happens to include creating a great business, getting yourself healthy and fit, being around people who are like-minded and have those same kind of goals of self-improvement, you know, mind, body, spirit, health, nutrition, fitness, finances. You know, we're all just trying to make ourselves better and help others, you know, make life better for themselves, for their families, for their teams and communities. And that's what we do. So let me start off by with a footnote. I think many of you are already in there and maybe at least know about it, but if you don't, I have a training page. It's called the Bearcat Training Camp. It's open to everyone. If you're not over there yet, please request to join, and I'll happily approve you and get you in there. I just want to, you know, we only have a short amount of time tonight. I really want to share some concepts and what I think really is the shell or the skeleton of a successful Team Beachbody business. And then, you know, kind of push you guys off into the direction of here, fill in that skeleton, because if you do, you'll have a strong business, kind of a thing. But the details get filled in over there, and there are a couple of things that will make sense after what we talk about tonight, a couple of videos over there that I would suggest that you watch. And Kathy, if you have a team page or a group page for this group, you know, feel free to post. I think if you post through the Bearcat page, if people aren't members, they can't see it. But if you post directly from the YouTube channel, they'll go up. But one is called Keys to Success. It's a short little video, and it goes through what I believe are the key categories of activities that we as coaches need to do. To have a successful business, you need to fill those in. And when you watch the video, that'll make better sense. It's basically a laundry list of here's the things, the kinds of things that should be going on in your business daily. Here's what should be popping up weekly. And here's the kinds of things that you should have going on monthly. Because this is a business, right? And it's not just wake up and make it up every day. I had a great mentor in the beginning, and he used to say, are you just hoping this works? Like, are you doing this on purpose? And I still remember it to this day, and I can hear his voice because it was probably the strongest question anybody ever asked me about building any business. He just looked at me square in the eyes and said, are you doing this on purpose? And when I really thought about that, you know, my answer was no. I'm kind of making it up as I go. I'm doing what people are telling me to do on a daily basis, and that's when I became aware of a few really important things, and one of them is the importance of being system dependent. and understanding the structure of what a team Beachbody business is. So that Keys to Success video will help with that. And then there's one that's called the 50-10 rule, I think is what it's called. But that'll make more sense to you after we share tonight too, and it will be a good follow-up to moving forward on the concepts of what I want to share tonight. Now, go ahead and watch all the videos over there if you want to, because they're all great. But those two would really make sense after tonight. Okay, so let me start with giving you, and again, I'm going to give you the same kind of concept. I wish we had hours and hours, and I'm happy to come hang out with you guys anytime, by the way. And I'm really happy that many of you are going to be in Framingham. I'm going to be there too. Please come over and say hello. This is all about connection, both ways, not just the people we're inviting, but also connecting with our peers. Connection is something that, it's like a spider web. It goes off in every single direction, and you want to be fostering all of that. So in the interest of time, I'm going to do a laundry list style. I apologize, but 20 years of being an attorney has me put everything in outlines. Everything I do is in an outline. So what I want to share with you tonight are two different outlines. And the first one are what I think are kind of the key concepts that you want to understand and grasp. And one of them is that this is an event-driven business. It's all about events. And get used to being at events, and get to events and then create events. This business is about community. It's about building community and relationships. And it's about continually inviting and growing community and relationships, and then helping others to duplicate the very same thing. And we'll come back to duplication. But that's what it's all about. And it happens at the events. It's like we're a little node in this, for my electrical engineers in the audience. We're sitting in the center of this connection of wires, and in order for electricity to flow, I need to be plugged into what it is that I'm part of as a coach, and that's the bigger community, our team, our organization, our regional stuff, your Super Saturdays, Get to Summit, whatever's happening that you can get to, in order to offer to those who we're reaching out to on the other side. That connection is what pulls in, bzzz, all of a sudden the electricity is working and the light bulb turns on and something works. All too often people try to stand on an island and reach out to people, but don't have that deep connection with what it is that we're attempting to connect people to. And that happens when you get to the events. And by that, I don't just mean Super Saturday. I hope all of you can get to Super Saturday. But really, these are concept things. Catch the concept of being part of a community. Network marketing is communal growth. It's based on connection and relationship and mutual empowerment. And one of the places that we catch that, and one of the places that we connect into that, is the events. So getting to the events, the team calls, this is an event, be someone who's engaged in this. I always tell people, if you want to be a full-time Beachbody coach, just start being a full-time Beachbody coach. Show up, be everywhere. Is there a fit club in your neighborhood? Is there a fit club in your town? Show up, hang out. Whether it's your coach or a cross-line coach or anybody, get to the places where you can be connected, because then it grows into the next stage, which is you're the one who's the focus of events, shake and shares, fit clubs, challenge groups. Those are events too, in a sense. And think out of the box. What are some other events? People are attracted to what we do in this business because people are attracted to other human beings. And this is an amazing way to do business, and be in connection and in community with the support, with the mutual educational opportunities, but just the connection and everything that brings. Okay. So concept number one, this is an event-driven business, and think out of the box, meditate on that one. I just threw out a few things. Go deep with that one. Concepts are things that you go deep with. Okay. And the next one is you have to be system dependent. And that's why that Keys to Success video, it will really make a lot of sense to you, because it gives you the beginning of a little system. And I'm going to talk more about system before we end in the second half of what I share tonight. But for the concept, understand it in the beginning, the system is just leveraging, and that's the next concept. These two kind of go together. This is a team sport. Nobody gets great success in this business as a solo player. You just can't do it. This is a team sport. Basketball is a team sport. Many people believe Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever. We could argue that out here, but let's just say he's one of the top, right? You put him on a court, and then you put any, in his prime, and then you put any NBA team of 5 players on the other side of the court, he cannot win. He can't. He just can't do it. It's a team sport. This is a team sport. And in the beginning, when we're talking about systems, it means familiarizing yourself with the systems that exist and plug into them and leverage them. I'm not telling you that you all should go out and create all your own brand new Coach Basics and, diamond groups and all of that kind of stuff and prospect referrals. I don't know. I'm not telling you that. But what I am saying is find out where they are. Because I know Kathy has them. I know I have them. I know the tribe has them. And there are opportunities simply to say, hey, let's do this together. Kathy, I have no system whatsoever. But I learned the other night that I'm supposed to find out where all the systems are. And I know we're part of the tribe or we're part of whatever, Bearcat training camp. What the hell was that thing? Let me go check that out. Is that just someplace I can send my coaches and they'll get trained for me? Wow, cool. What other places are there like that are available? And plug into them. There will come a time in your business where you will create your own. But please don't waste time doing that too soon. Leverage is key. Team, leverage. Leverage what corporate puts out there. I'll be quite honest with you. When I personally sponsor coaches, if you really want to do the business, then you get me one-on-one. I have a whole certain one-on-one program for that. But typically, I send you to Coach Basics in the online office. Go there first. If you're really going to do the business, then you at least went through that, I hope. And then come and let me know what you didn't quite understand, and I'll help you through that. But we as coaches have to do that, plug into the system, learn the system. I won't embarrass anybody, but I think if I said raise your hand to everybody who's gone through that in the Coach Online office, probably few would. And the truth is, I was the same way until somebody beat me over the head and said, get back there. So learn what they are, the corporate ones, the team ones. And here's the cool thing that happens when you get to Super Saturdays and Summit and stuff. You find out there's even cross-line stuff available. And you may resonate with, another top coach, cool, but they happen to have a training that's available. Great. Find out where they are and then invite your people to them. When you sign a new coach, this is not put on blinders and send them off on their own and hope they find it. It's in the beginning, let's show where those systems are. Eventually, you'll have your own systems. Before we end the call tonight, you'll have your own personal system because I'm going to go through that with you. But for now, just please, again, write that one down, meditate on that. What does it mean to be systems oriented? And what does it mean to leverage my team? Leverage at every opportunity. Do never create something without first asking if there's already something just like that available. Because your team, your time is way too valuable in this business. And especially in the beginning, and in the beginning, I believe the beginning, by the way, is from 0 to 5-star. And in the beginning, if you're doing too much of that, then you're handicapping your business and taking away your potential to succeed. Okay, so leverage, team, systems. In the beginning, plug into the existing ones, show your people how to do the same, get them connected. And then when we talk later, I'm going to talk about personal system. All of that is then doing the next big concept, which is simply living the culture. In order to really attract people, and this is attraction marketing, this is relationship marketing, this is all about, you hear, what's your niche market and what's your brand and, all those things, those are just words and terms that talk about relationships. That talk about, I hope everybody's read the book Tribes by Seth Godin. If you haven't, then definitely dig into it. And that's one that you read 3 or 4 times, by the way, because the concepts in there are so powerful. And this is the one: live the culture, be it. And that's why one of our vital behaviors is be proof the product works, right? Well, back in the Bearcat training camp, actually the latest video I just put up is my in-depth deep dive on the 4 vital behaviors. And one of the things that I talk about is that be proof the product works means a hell of a lot more than drink your Shakeology every morning. It means live the culture. Be in it, okay? And go ahead and watch that video too to get the deeper points on that. But for now, just get that concept, because what that leads to is the final vital concept, and that is duplication. We need to duplicate ourselves. 7 years later, I have a downline that's, 38,000 people right now, I think. And that's not because I talked to and signed 38,000 people, by the way. It's because I duplicated. I got real good at duplicating. I opened up the encyclopedia and I found out how bunny rabbits get going, and I got going. And there's duplication all over the team, right? Little duplication. That's what the key to success is. If we're talking about treat your business like a business, build success. And duplication comes when you really implement and embody those first bunch of concepts that I just gave to you, and then take it to the next step, which is handing it off to those who are coming in and joining you. At first, it's, hey, Kathy, let's go in and let's do this training together. Let's go through these things together, until eventually it's like, okay, Kathy, I got a couple people I'm going to be working over here. And you got those, go do those guys. We'll keep touching base, but it'll be less. And boom, now we've, that little cell just broke off. I remember that the day it happened for Keith Callahan and I. I think all of you know Keith, and Kathy mentioned Keith in the beginning. Keith's my personally sponsored coach, a good friend of mine before Beachbody too. I remember the day he came to my office and said, dude, if this is really going to work, I gotta step up and go lead too. I'm going to start my own team page. I almost cried. I'm telling you, I really did. I was like, what do you mean, dude? We're doing this together. We're partners. What do you mean? I'm going to be all alone. But that was the most powerful time for both of our businesses, because that process of duplication started, and it's continued on from there. And when you plug yourself into the systems, the systems, you get to know them, you start sharing them, and then you're living the culture, duplication happens naturally, because that's what's going to happen when you are inviting your people to do the very same thing. And when you share with people the same thing that I just shared with you, that says, hey, it's so important that we get to the events. Let's go to Super Saturday together. Let's do the whatever. Let's do the Melanie Mitro, whatever, social media training or whatever it is. There's some great stuff out there. I love the Bearcat training camp, but that's me, right? There's tons of stuff out there. But the idea is once you do that and then replicate that by first doing it in partnership, that will repeat for you. Okay. So those are the concepts I wanted to start you with and leave for you to meditate on and let sink in. Just understanding, again, I want to try to give you a skeleton view of what is a Beachbody coach business. It's event driven, it's system dependent, it understands and operates the concept of leveraging, plays as a team player on all levels, lives fully and embodies the culture. We can't share and invite to something that we aren't. We just can't. And once you become it, the cool part is all of a sudden it's like magic. People start coming out of the woodwork to be part of what you're doing. But when you're banging your head on the wall and you can't find people, most of the time it's because you're not quite living the culture yet. And figure out, ask yourself, how can I dive in deeper? And then, of course, the final one is duplication. And that's your goal. That's the big, big goal. If there was one thing, if you said, Bob, what's the one word? With one word you have to leave us with, I'd say duplicate. Learn how to do this shit and duplicate, because that's what it's about. Okay? There's part one. So we'll take a pause. All right. Now, part two is I want to share with you an actual outline or skeleton for the kinds of things that should be going on in your individual business, okay? That stuff, that big picture stuff and that concept stuff should guide how you do things. And now here's some questions that I want you to ask yourself. And when you can answer all of these, and you can answer them confidently and strongly, there's no guarantees, of course, but I guarantee you will have a strong business for whatever that means for you. And here's the first one. What are you doing to find and recruit customers? Find and recruit customers. And here's some, systems. What are you doing? Are you doing a weekly fit club? Are you doing weekly shake and shares? Do you do one of the things that I do? One of the ways that I answer this question is, and I've been doing this for 7 years and it works wonders, is for 1 week a month, the first week of the month, I do a little paid advertisement on my Facebook like page. And it's not big, and you don't have to do paid anything. I don't want to tell anybody they have to do that kind of a thing. I used to just do it on my personal page. I offer free Shakeology samples. And I have a little system. I don't just hand them out in front of Walmart. If you respond, there's a question, are you a coach? You'd be surprised how many coaches are like, I never tried coffee before. Can I have one? You're like, come on, you know what I'm doing. So you have a little conversation. I get them, which flavor would you like? Oh, well, you know what? You should check out myshakeology.com / send them my link. And then come back to me, tell me which flavor you want, which blend, get a little stickiness going. And then I get the samples out to them with those little trifold brochures that you buy in the back office. And I do that for 1 week because in 1 week I can get out 20 to 30 samples. And within 20 to 30 samples, I've now got that system down to where I will get 2 or 3 HD orders, and usually 3 to 5 Success Club points out of that. Because sometimes could be talking to those people about challenge packs along the way, right? That's my one finding tool for me, okay? The other one is fit clubs. I like getting together with people and working out. In the summertime, I drive around and I love doing park workouts. I get together with a couple of buddies and we go hang out in a park and we do some crazy insanity shit. And you can't imagine, people come around and like, what are you doing? So that's one of my things. But you have to answer the question for yourself. Shake and shares, online free walking groups, all of those things count. So customer generation, sharing product first. What are you doing for that? And then the second, and it's kind of a part B on that one, is, excuse me, because I'm going to take this sweatshirt off. It's getting hot in here. The next one is, what are you doing to cultivate that customer base, to stay connected with them? And challenge groups is a great answer to that. And I actually keep one big open challenge group. It's kind of all my customers. If you've ever been in a challenge group with me, or you've ever been a customer of mine, I throw you in this open group. And if you want to, pull yourself out, I don't care. That's cool. But most people don't. And that's just a way that I can stay in touch with them. I do monthly newsletter email, real short, just, hey, here's the latest. Here's what's, the hot on sale challenge pack this month. And I always remind in that email, here's the breakdown, by the way. If you were a club member, you'd be paying this. And if you were a coach, you'd be paying this. But just a monthly touch. Again, cultivating my customers. And by the way, that one happens to do a double purpose. And you might have some that do too, because that's also a finding tool for me. Because in that process, sometimes they become a repeat customer. Sometimes they want to be part of a challenge group that they never wanted to be part of before. I'm always throwing in front of people that I'm a coach and that anybody in the world can be a coach. So some of them are like, hey, I'd like to hear about that a little bit more. So I got that going. Okay. So what are you doing to cultivate your customer base? And some of that means peer support, because we want to be supporting them and have a system. That's what's great about challenge groups, by the way. It is a way to help. It's also a finding tool for the next one I'm going to ask you about, by the way. I'll talk about that. But for now, what are you doing for that? Okay. And how can you get better at that? And here's a cool one. How could you leverage something to get better at that? Okay. What's my team doing that I might be able to plug into that I could use to be better at that? Okay. Those are the first two. The next one is, what am I doing to find and recruit business partners, coaches? And I mean business partner coaches. I count discount coaches as part of your customer. Those are preferred customers, and that's part of your customer base recruiting. Okay. So what are you doing to find, invite, connect with prospective business partner coaches? And like I said, your challenge groups have a dual purpose. Hopefully you're using your challenge groups for that, right? Some people, that's all they do is use their challenge groups for that. And that's okay. I like to diversify. And I'm going to suggest that you diversify. And if you watch that video, Keys to Success, you'll see I break down the diversification a little bit further. But regardless, for the purposes of right now of filling out what are our skeletal questions, what are you doing? And if it's using your challenge groups, how are you doing that? Don't just put people in challenge groups and hope that they ask you to be a business partner, because it's not going to happen. And if it does, good luck. You found the 4-leaf clover. Don't expect it to happen over and over again. You have to have, what's your system? And some people have, once people have gone through my challenge group, then I invite them to a biz op, or I invite them to a sneak peek. Maybe you guys do sneak peeks. These are just examples. And I always tell people, think out of the box, leverage, duplicate. What are some things that people are doing? And then bring you to the equation. I like to get out into the community and just talk to people who are kind of into fitnessy things. That's my customer generation stuff. So those park workouts and stuff that I was talking about, a lot of times I don't do anything Beachbody. I just want to get out, just get around people. So what are you doing to do that? And the second piece, of course, is what are you doing to find and recruit business partners? And this is the one that people most of the time have the harder time filling out. And what I want to suggest to you is that this should be just as strong and have just as much of your time and resources, if not more, than your customer generation. Customer generation, building this business is phase one. It's like the high school, right? And you got to get to college, and then you got to get onto life and get building and the growth of your business. Be careful not to get stuck. And most of us do that. And I say us because there's a learning process for me too. But that has to be just as big and just as healthy. So BizOp webinars, team BizOp webinars. What can you leverage? And heck, in the beginning, I didn't know how to do a business op presentation, and wasn't set up for it, and barely even. I mean, those were back in the days when there wasn't even Facebook around. So I don't even know if we had computers. I don't know what was going on back then, but other people were doing it. So I would invite my prospects to go watch Barbie Decker or Jeffrey Armbruster or somebody else who had one that was going on. But I never sent them blindly. I would say, Kathy, if I really want you to see this, and man, this guy does, or this woman or wherever does this great, amazing job, I'll meet you there, okay? And then you get on the webinar together, and then you talk again right afterwards. Again, you walk them through the whole process, but that's an opportunity to leverage even a cross-line opportunity. And I don't know what you guys have specifically for your team. If you don't have one yet, I suggest, though, that you do have a regular, weekly, at least, team webinar business op presentation. And it can even rotate who your presenters are, but again, it's to give people things to leverage. And by the way, that's the other side of the leveraging thing. You have to learn how to leverage. And then those of you who have teams, learn how to offer things to leverage. If you're talking to a new coach and you're saying, how are you building your customer base? And they're saying, well, I'm talking to all these people, but I'm not getting anywhere with it. Well, can we have some three-way calls? Can I do the presentation with you so that, you can sort of on-the-job training opportunity, offer opportunities for people to leverage you? And don't be shy about that, because it's so important in this business. Okay, so that's one set. Targeting and making sure that some of your sharing, at least 50% of it, is focused on the BizOp presentation, and focused on sharing what the business is doing for you. It's just as important, and it doesn't mean, and always be careful about, holding wads of money. Look at all the money I made, right? And that's not what I'm talking about. But talking about being, I don't know what the word is, but sharing what's happening in your life, the lifestyle, the freedom, the opportunities, the way that you're living and what you're doing, and starting and leading, sharing conversations with, hey, I'd love you to check out this new business I'm doing. I'm looking for some partners. I think you'd be awesome at it, actually. And you know what? You're the kind of person that I could see having fun working with you. So can I just show you what it is? That kind of, instead of, hey, I'm drinking Shakeology, do you want to try it? And then hoping the person goes to customer to coach. We can't expect somebody to want to be a coach when what we introduced them to was a product. When I go to the pizza place to buy pizza, if the guy behind the counter comes over and says, hey, by the way, do you want to be part owner of this place? I'm like, dude, I didn't sign up for that. I bought a pizza. And we got to be careful in our expectations as well. And so that means starting some from the beginning. And here's a cool little trick. Test yourself, give yourself little blocks of time. One of my mentors gave me we'd go a week at a time. You cannot say the word Shakeology. You cannot say the word P90X or Insanity or 21-day fix. Go share. Still get your 2 to 5 shares a day, every day. But you cannot use any of those buzzwords. You got to learn a different way to talk about and share what this thing's all about, because the truth is this thing ain't about those things. It's about something that's much bigger. It's about sharing opportunity for positive life change. Those products happen to be the vehicles that we use to get that change, whether it's losing some weight or getting healthy, getting fit, getting off of some meds, using the BizOp to bring in a little extra money on the side to keep things going, make ends meet, maybe even get ahead. All of those things are what we share, and those things are called positive life change. That's what we're about sharing. And when we're about seeking business partners, we're just looking for other people who would like to be part of that and help other people succeed in that process too. So learn to do that sharing and ask yourself, am I doing 50-50 or what's my percentage? Because if you tell, you might look at it and go, wow, it's 90-10 or 99-1, right? And that's okay too. So wean yourself back and say, again, I'm going to do this on purpose because Bob told me I should do this on purpose. And so one of the things I'm going to do on purpose is make sure that a portion of my sharing is business first. And we don't talk about the products. We don't lead with the products, okay? And some other examples in that would be targeted sharing as well. BizOp webinars are great. BizOps in person, great. Home parties. It's so funny because in the beginning we built a business on home parties. Now nobody talks about home parties. Home parties, shake and shares, those are opportunities to share and invite to the business. While we're talking about Keith Callahan, Keith built a fantastic, amazing business because one of the things that he did is the main thing he did and still does is he targets business partners. That's where he goes for, and he's looking for people who want to get into a business. And so there's a different approach. Obviously, you're going to look in different places. It'll direct a lot of different things, okay? And again, a lot of the stuff over in the Bearcat Training Camp, especially the Phase 2 stuff, that's a lot of the stuff that I focus on because it's one of the concepts I really believe in. So we won't beat that dead horse any longer, other than to ask yourself, what are you doing to fill that piece in? Part B of that, similar to part B of the first one, is what are you doing to cultivate those relationships with the people who do join you as coaches? And one of the things that Kathy's doing is she's having a team call, and she's pulling together the people who want to do the business and making sure that they're getting some connection. What else are you doing? What things do you do? I have a Coach Basics, which basically is I leverage what corporate does, and then I have a one-on-one chat, and we go over questions, and I make sure people know how to use the back office. As far as I'm concerned, Coach Basics is, do you know how to use the back office? Do you know how to get people to your website? Beautiful. Go start sharing. And then I would send you to the Bearcat Training Camp, and starting off with that video number 1 where I talk about the daily disciplines and what the daily life of a coach looks like. Because I'm of the opinion that if you want to be a coach, you should just if you got a corporate job and you showed up on Monday, by Tuesday, they would expect you to kind of basically be doing the things that you got hired to do, right? Like, here they are, go do them. And so I've got that, right? For my personally sponsored people, for at least the first 60 to 90 days, they get me basically one-on-one. And I have a one-on-one program set up. So it's once a week, one-on-one, as long as they're matching. I have one-on-one for my superstar people, people who are really doing the business and want partnership. So I have that. Then I have some small mastermind groups, which are kind of like my higher level. I mean, obviously I'm in a little bit of a different situation with the size of organization that I have, but it's my way of keeping in contact with that sort of mid-level leadership, small groups, 10 to 12 people, meeting in a mastermind session. The Bearcat Training Camp is my way of that's how I reach my whole team. And I've opened it cross-line now, so it's open to everybody. But those are my cultivation things. I've been going around a lot over the last few years and helping, again, people who are leaders in the organization with their diamond retreats or whatever that might be. You'll see me at Super Saturday. I'll be doing Super Saturday. I'll be doing Super Sunday in Connecticut the next day, leading a diamond meeting in the morning. So that's how I answer that question. And if you're new and you go, well, that's great, Bob, you've been around for a long time, those are cool things, but I just joined last week and you can't expect me to do any of that. And I would say, you're right, I can't expect you to do any of that. But remember a concept we talked about before that was about leveraging. What you can do, even if you just joined this morning and you signed your first person this afternoon, is you can answer this question by saying, I'm cultivating by introducing my new people to everybody in the team. And I'm introducing my one little baby coach I have over here. I've got a one-person downline. But Bob said I should be able to answer the question of how am I cultivating my team. I'm taking this person around. I'm getting them to Super Saturday. I'm introducing them to everything, all the opportunities, all the leveraging pieces. And then you keep doing that. And then keep doing that. In the beginning, it's just introduction and leveraging. Get your people plugged in. Don't leave anybody alone. You would be amazed how powerful it is just to run around and get everybody plugged in. just make sure everybody's plugged in. Just get everybody to the party. And that in itself, especially in the beginning stages, is really, really powerful. And then, so those are your two main components of your business, your customer generation and then your coach generation, the cultivation of both. And then understanding that there's a process. Most of the reason why, by the way, we generate customers is because it's a finding tool for partners. Yes, I want a customer base. And the truth is, my customer base is the fun part of this business. It's the lifestyle. It's why I get to do what I do. And I engage and I stay active. And it's what attracts people. It's the attraction part. But the business and what pays me a paycheck every week is the community. It's not my customer sales. I can guarantee you that. It's not my retail sales. I do those because that's a foundational activity. And it's one of the activities that's going to be a finding tool towards seeking my partners who want to do the same thing, and grow their base and then grow their teams. And now we're back to that concept of duplication. Okay. So what am I doing on those two things? And really look at your business as that, just like our compensation plan is the two legs, and we're all used to seeing the left leg and the right leg. Please understand that the growth of your business has two legs too. It's your customer base and then building your coach base and then how you are cultivating those things. The final concept, and for most of us, it's probably, understanding what's coming later. But for many of you, or some of you at least, it will be really relevant for right now. And that is, you're building an organization. This is not about personal success, which means, and please hear me, I'm a fan of Success Club points and the elite program. I was elite a couple of times myself. All the recognitions and the rank ups and all those things are, it's all part of what we do, but it's personal success. And this business starts by learning how to have that personal success, but then we need it to grow into team success. Okay, well, if I want to duplicate, I'm never going to duplicate if I just keep running ahead of everybody, or if I just keep running and I'm worried about myself, right? So now what I want to do is to team build, which is to invite some people to do it with me. That's first. And that's diamond to 5-star. You're inviting some people to do it with you. And you're going to do it as partners. Really partner up, equals, peers. I don't care who sponsors who. I sponsored Keith, but I guarantee you, I looked to him for support, guidance, help as much as he looked to me, and it's a partnership. Nicole Jones was another one in that original. It's funny, our little original pod are all Millionaire Club members. But in the beginning, we partnered. It was just partner. Hey, did you get to this training? Hey, did you hear about what's happening over here? Let's go. Let's go together. Let's. And that's from diamond to 5-star. Those are your little personally sponsored. And also remember, it's not just about personally sponsored. Volume, whoever's in your downline, who's willing to plug in, partner. That's team building, and that's the second level. But the third level, and our final concept for tonight, is bringing in the understanding that building one of these businesses is about building organizational success. And organizational success happens when you make it up through personal success. You learn how to do this. You learn how to build a diamond business. You learn how to get Success Club successfully. Maybe you hit a lead a time or two. You learn how to get that down. Then you get a little group of people who are doing it together. Now I've got team success. Organizational success is when you start to then duplicate that team process. And that can be, and it's like I described earlier, that there might be some tears shed at that moment, because that little pod that you all joined in together is going to not break apart, but is going to kind of leave the nest kind of thing, right? We all want our kids to leave the nest and succeed. And it's not that we're never going to see them again. We are. And in fact, if we're doing that other process I was talking about cultivating your people and your coaches and your team, then you are connecting with them. But it's going to be in a different way now. And you want to not only expect that, but have that as one of your goals. And I know for most people here, that's a longer term goal. But what I promised you in the beginning was to give you the skeleton, so that hopefully when you walk out of here tonight, you can look at these couple of lists that I gave you as guides and kind of a roadmap. What are the kinds of things I should see showing up in my business? And at the end of the day, you want to see organizational duplication. So for those of you who are 2 to 5 star position, that's where you want to get to. And sometimes that can be the most difficult jump, because all this teamwork and support and everything I've been talking about all night long, that's the one place where you have to kind of step off and be responsible to recreate, to lead this whole thing to happen again. Those are the people that we're looking for. We're looking for those 4 or 5. And I'm telling you, it's 4 or 5. It's not 60 zillion. It's 4 or 5 who will reach that place. And then we'll step off and do that. I have a 38,000 or whatever it is person downline because I know who my 4 or 5 are. And over the last 7 years, we walked through this process that I just laid out for you, and have it now to the place where it's basically self-duplicating. And that's the place we all want to get to with this business, is you shouldn't matter anymore. At the end of the day, it's not about you. And in the beginning, it's all about you. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be about you. Team Bearcat or whatever my organization is, it's not about Bob Lucido anymore. It's just not. Heck, I haven't even been on a stage with the elite coaches the last couple of years. It's other people who are stepping and duplicating. And I'm here now looking out for who's the next generation of people who want that level of success, and then offering opportunity for people to leverage me to get there. I'm trying to walk the talk. Everything that I shared with you tonight, I guarantee you, is just stuff I've done all the way up to now, and I do now. And it's that simple. Not to say that it's simple, but it really is. It's based on some relatively simple concepts. Nothing that I shared with any of you tonight is hard to understand, right? I guarantee, or I hope, or I believe that probably no one listened to this and said, "What does he mean by, a system?" It's simple concepts, but it's just understanding how they fit in and which concepts are the building blocks for success in this business. So, makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Kathy, I'll hand it back to you. I know I've just rambled on and on and on forever.
No, this is great.
Discussion, questions, and I'm happy to do that too. So.
Yeah, that was so great. I took so many notes, Bob. But thank you so much, guys. I took so many notes. I'm sure you did too. I saw your pens all going on the other end there. But just to kind of recap really quickly, I did highlight some of the key things that really stood out to me. And I just want to quickly go over those before, maybe if we have time for like 2 or 3 questions. But when he said the word intentional, that really stood out to me, because there's a big difference between, like he said, sitting there hoping that this business works, hoping that you can turn this thing into something amazing, and working on this being like busy work versus are you actually sitting down and taking the right action steps, like being intentional with it. Whereas when you're sitting down, everything that you're doing, are those the right things that are going to get you closer to where you want to be? You know, being that self-disciplined enough. So that really stuck out to me, was being intentional. So important. The next thing that I wrote down was the duplication part, because you can't be an island. Like you can only go so far with this thing on your own, and then you will just plateau out. You need to focus on building a team, building your tribe, building an organization. And I really liked how he talked about sharing the business, right? 50-50 between, you know, you're helping people get started on their health and fitness journey. The other 50%, you're looking for business building coaches. You're looking for active coaches who want to partner up with you and run with you with this thing. Honestly, guys, that's when I really saw the shift happen with my business, was when I started sharing way more about this business, like on my personal wall, for example, is one key to it. I wasn't just talking about, you know, feeling better and looking better and being healthier and, you know, all that stuff. I was talking more and sharing more now about what I loved about this business, why I'm in this business, you know, what it's done for our family, how it's helped us. Again, nothing salesy, guys, nothing like what he said with the money flashing in the air, that stuff. We don't do that on this team. And you guys are all really good about that. So you know that already. But it was when I made that shift of talking about that, where I started bringing on a lot more business building coaches every single month. And that's what you want. Like, you want those people with you. You can't get to the place where Bob is or any other successful leader in this company on your own and just by bringing people in and plugging them into challenge groups. Like, that is a big piece to it. But you have to form a business and have an organization going. So those things were key to me, because it is like so many pieces to the puzzle, guys, right, that he went over. And it is exactly like a puzzle. You have to have all those little components that he went over to have success in this. And chances are, if you're kind of struggling a little bit, or if you hit those, like a roadblock along the way, you're missing a piece. And you just need to find out what piece that is and dig a little bit deeper in that area and focus in on that. That will be the spot that you need to improve on. So just out of curiosity, Bob, before I ask if anybody else has a question, for your team, for your personally sponsored coaches, do you tell them and give them a recommendation about how many business building coaches they should try to be bringing on every single month onto their team?
Great question. There's another video over at the Bearcat Training Camp that I'm going to refer everybody to, that's called The Pace. And that's where I break that down. But the short answer to that is 1 to 2 new coaches a month who are saying that they're joining to be a coach. And that doesn't mean, 1 to 2 who, is 2 rock stars every single month. No, 1 to 2 that are joining for the purpose of being a coach. And they're going to join your Coach Basics, and they're going to get started. Because that's going to give you about 25 or so, 20 to 25 a year. And out of that 20 to 25, maybe a couple, 2 to 5, if you're lucky, will turn into people who go diamond and actually do something. That's an amazing pace to be on. Because remember, I just said a few minutes ago, it only takes 4 or 5 who you're going to go really deep with. And I heard Chalene Johnson say it this one time this way, and this is gold. She said, in this business, in network marketing, you're going to touch a lot of people, and you're going to go deep with a few. And with our customer base and whatever your downline is of coaches, there's all this opportunity to contact, but you're going to go deep with a few. You're going to get really deep partnership kind of relationships, long-term relationships with a few. And to generate that few, it's really important in my opinion, that you stay on a pace that works. If you're going to run a marathon, you don't sprint out in the beginning, right? And I don't know how many of you are on our shared page, the Tribe Diamond page. Kathy, I know you're on it, but Keith Callahan put something up there the other day, and maybe he put it in the Tribe too. I can't remember if I saw it in there. But anyways, he was referencing a conversation that he had with another top coach who's been in the business for 7 years, multiple time elite coach. And she was expressing not really earning the income that she expected or was wanting maybe. And I'm making up these numbers because I don't remember them exactly, but a downline of in the single digits of thousands, 4,000, let's say, which is still a good downline. But after 7 years, why does she have a downline of 7,000? And this is somebody who's multiple time elite over and over and over and over again, recruiting 20 to 25 new coaches a month, whereas Keith's been in the same business for the same amount of time with a 30,000 person downline, recruits 1 or 2 a month, and then implements that concept that I shared before, which is he has a plan for how he cultivates his coaches. Whereas if you're signing 20 or 25 a month, and then as soon as the month's over, you're diving into the next month to sign another 20 to 25, doesn't leave any time for cultivation, doesn't leave any time for connection, doesn't leave any time for those relationships to form. So I'm not telling anybody to underachieve. If you're somebody who can sign 20 to 25 coaches or more a month, go for it. But make sure that you have that balance of what's to cultivate. How are you going to service those business partners that are coming in? And knowing that really I'm looking for a small handful of business partners. So maybe 2 to 5, maybe my pace is too slow. I don't know, but that's been my pace. Over 7 years. It's Success Club 5 to 10 every single month. I think I hit over 20 once or twice in my 7-year career. Success Club 5 to 10 every single month, 1 to 2 coaches each month, people who are saying they want this because they want to do the business, and then I plug them into my connections, obviously. And a rank advancement every 90 days. That's basically somewhere in one of my business centers, I'm rank advancing every 90 days. That's stretched. To be completely transparent, it's probably every 180 days now, but it has to be happening. And in the beginning, you want to see something every 90 days happening in that range in your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's great. No, that's good to know. It is definitely more on quality versus quantity.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny because, people will say about network marketing in general, it's a numbers game. And I can't deny that. And if you go watch my video, the 50-10 rule, I'm going to tell you it's a numbers game. But it's quality over quantity. Because even though it is about touching many so that I can go have the opportunity to go deep with a few, it's really about going deep with a few. And it just takes the many to get to those few. But this business at the heart is not so much about, how many can I touch? It's about, can I find the few that I can really go deep with, get these systems going, get duplication going, and help other people succeed. If this business is all about helping people succeed, I want to be able to do it at the highest level. Helping people, lose 10 pounds so that they can fit into a wedding dress, that's great. But that's level 1 success. Can I also offer them the success of financial freedom for, the rest of their life with their family? Wow, I want to be part of that too. And then everything in between.
Yeah, so true, so cool. And we're just seeing now, people on our team being able to, we've had a couple people that, stopped their full-time job, and we have a couple more people that, are going down to part-time now with their full-time jobs. And that's so exciting when we start seeing that kind of stuff happen.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep. Just building those real relationships with people. And because that's what it is at the end of the day, guys. It's, we say it all the time, you have to build real relationships with people. And if you can help people reach their goals just naturally, you will hit your own. All right, well, I won't keep you, Bob, but we so appreciated this so much. I know how busy you are, and it meant a lot to you, like the entire team, for you to take this time out of your night. I know you had a crazy day, and we appreciate you so much, and we look up to you, and we respect you, and we can't wait to see you at Super Saturday.
Great, thank you. I had a great time being here, and here for you guys anytime. Looking forward to seeing you all, or some of you in person in a couple of weeks, you at least, Kath, and some of the others. Awesome. So have a great night.
All right, bye, Bob. Thanks very much. Bye, guys.